right on time. Whoa, hold on a second. I know I was a little late. I was late. It was my fault that I didn't send Brett the information right away. I've been busy. Evan knows.
I've been telling you about this for hours that he was going to come.
Don't disrespect. Don't. You have no right to talk right now. Still upset with you. I'm just. But let me first off welcome everybody to the Miami Dolphins post-game show on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Post-game show sponsored by Caneswear at Miami Fanswear. If you want some Dolphins gear for your 7-3 Miami Dolphins, go to Caneswear. Dolphins are 7-3. They beat the Raiders 20-13. My goodness. But what a kind of, at least throughout the
shit show.
It
was a shit show.
I know you're going there. Don't worry. But first, let's get to the man who wasn't here earlier. First off, I mean it. I'm telling you, I didn't say one show, Brett. I'm saying two shows. The odd couple of Dolphins between you and Evan. I'm dead serious about that. Like I'll fix that up. And then we got the and I'm saying play-by-play with Brett because that was great. Brett got us a play-by-play. He did a whole video just for Evan to prove to Evan what he was saying, and I think it worked. But anyway, Chris, you were close. Chris was the closest. She said 24-17. Give her the credit. Absolutely correct. Good evening, Brian Bloomer. Good to see you. Aladino.
Brian's my guy.
There you go. All right, let me make sure I got everything here.
Go ahead. I'd be at 13.5. I mean, honestly, if I was betting on that game, I'm not taking 13.5. I would have taken the under there. I'd have taken the Raiders to cover because that's just I don't know. For some reason I just didn't feel like it would be, even though I went on the high end on my prediction this morning just to have fun with it, but I had a feeling it wasn't going to be that way.
Well, Evan, I didn't get to hear your prediction. I know you said it on Manny's show.
49-10, and I can tell you what. I thought it was going to be a crushing defeat. Unfortunately, those two overturned calls, like if Holland's thing would have stood, and we would have taken a quick 7-0 lead. And plus, also, I think that had a major effect on the game. And then I think Tua's awful throw to Waddle, which, again, I don't want to hear about poor communication. That was just an awful play on his part to start off the half, to get the ball back. He basically just gave it back to them. Those kind of were momentum swingers for them to get point-up points, right? Like those two particular drives, they couldn't convert. It was just one of those weird things. But it started off well, but then it just the amount of overturned calls, the amount of reviews, but it could have gone a certain way. It's just the Dolphins didn't let it. Like the offense gave the Raiders every chance to win to tie this football game. Like the defense was just too good, but the defense was phenomenal. Like
that's what I was going to say. Let's start with that. Let's start with the positive. First off, positive. Dolphins did win. They are 7-3. Buffalo's going to win their game. They're going to go up 6-5 in the AFCs. But Dolphins 7-3. They keep distance. They continue to stay in their spot and move up a little bit here. So that's a positive. Their defense continues to trend up. Evan said it. First off, I want to phrase it because he keeps saying I owe an apology. First off,
you do owe me an apology.
No, stop it. The first thing was the debate was, and I will say that. The debate was, first off, you said he was as good as a player as Tyreek, and I said Tyreek is elite. Stop it for a second.
Same level.
You let me talk now, and then you can respond. Drink your juice, okay? Drink your calm me down juice, okay? First of all,
Red Bull
all right.
does not calm me down. It makes me more hyped.
I know. God help us all.
I'll drink the Gatorade instead.
He switches it up. But what I was saying was that back then was hey, I don't think they're the same. I think Tyreek's better. But impact on defense, absolutely, because you see what he's done for Kader Coe and everything. But today's performance, that interception, first off, that sealed it. There's no debate. He is on the same level as Tyreek on offense. I will give you that by play. That play at the end by Jalen Ramsey, doesn't matter how many draft picks you gave up. Doesn't matter how much you pay him. That's why you do it. You want that type of effort from your superstar players. There's a lot of players that we've paid over the years. Brett, you know this. Evan, obviously you, but we've paid a lot of great players over the years who treat this like a vacation spot. They don't really show up. Tyreek and Jalen Ramsey in their short stints here, Tyreek for 2 seasons now, Ramsey for this part of the season as he's come out of the injury, they've played to their contracts. Bradley Chubb as well. Bradley Chubb starting to he's really showing that money, but
he's finally coming along.
He really is.
Jalen Phillips had a good game today, which I wanted to talk about with Brett also.
Hey, a sack, an interception.
Yeah, 2 sacks today.
2 sacks, excuse me. So I think the Dolphins had 2 sacks total, right? Was that right?
Both were Phillips.
Okay, so they're at 31 this season. They're at 20. They had 29 before the game, 31 on the season right now. Before we get into what the hell bothered us about this game, let's touch on the positives here. Okay, and I'm going to start with you, Brett, and then Evan, you follow up. Obviously, what were the positives of this game? Was it all defense? Is there some? Did I miss Evan on Sanders? No, he did not. He hasn't touched on that yet. But Sanders. Anyway, you still owe a jersey. I don't care how many times you missed. But Brett, what were the positives of this game, man? What did you think of our defense?
So the positives is the defense. I mean, the defense did their job. They got their backs against the wall twice in short fieldage, and they only gave up a field goal. So, that game could have honestly, it's the same thing with the Giants in the Carolina game. It could have definitely got out of hand fast and in a hurry. And but those games we recovered and didn't stop. But this game we never really fully recovered. Luckily we won. But the defense, though, like the way they played, they played very well. And I know it's like the quarterback's a young quarterback, obviously inexperienced, the whole situation with the Raiders. So you're not expecting much, but they fought, they played hard, and the defense just stepped up. And I actually texted you earlier and I said, dare I say the defense is now the face of the team, which is
you did say that
now a defensive team because like the offense is struggling. So the defense has stepped up every week. And it seems like ever since Philly, this defense has answered the call. Has said, we have to be the answer. We can't no longer be the weak point. And this defense, instead of being the lead sail, now they are the sail. And, Evan has texted me that we were losing the turnover battle, and the defense turned that around. And Ramsey's 2 interceptions he had, that was just phenomenal interceptions. Like, both of them were high-effort interceptions. And I don't know who had the third one.
Jalen Phillips on Christian Wilkins.
Jalen Phillips, yep.
It was a 4th down. Christian Wilkins got a tackle for loss. Had a sack, yep. And O'Connell knew he was about to fall, so he just threw it as hard as he could, and Phillips was right there.
Well, so I mean, like they forced turnovers, and they're finally forcing turnovers.
Yeah.
Whether the fumble counted or not, it doesn't matter. The fact that they're getting their hands on the football, they're forcing the ball out. They're fighting, they're scrapping, and it seems like they have a good rotation. Even Ogball's getting some pressure,
yes.
So it seems like Fangio's finding ways to get guys involved. Phillips is coming along, and they're using him in a similar way they did last year. So Phillips is kind of finding a role and getting a little more confident and all. And Chubb, it's just been very good. He's just been playing very well, and the sacks are now happening because of how Chubb's been playing. And Wilkins and Sealer, I liked how they actually called a timeout to make sure Wilkins and Sealer were on the field because that's 2 of their better pass rushers, and they made sure they got on the field. Raekwon Davis, it's weird, and all of a sudden he's better as a pass rusher now because he uses his length to get into the backfield. So that was good. The run game, it was okay. The offensive line is like 1 minute they're like getting clear lanes, and the next minute they're like getting nothing. Honestly, I started to see today that we started to kind of do better up the middle all of a sudden. And I was saying before we struggled to run up the middle. Now all of a sudden, I think they need to start doing now is start spreading the defense out and start running it some more inside zone, start mixing that in more. And Mostert makes the most out of so little. He makes a lot out of a little, and he's still a hammer when he hits. He makes you nervous because of how thin we are at running back right now. And Ahmed came through as a receiver. I mean, that's definitely another positive. He was a not an integral piece, but he was used in small doses as a receiver and actually made some plays as running the ball. So those are a lot of the positives I saw from that. And I'll give another positive on offense. 1 or 2 of his best drives, Tyreek was in the locker room. He wasn't forcing the ball to Tyreek. He was just letting the defense, everything come to him. He was, hey, that's what you're going to give me. I'm going to take it. Boom, boom, boom. 5 out of 6, touchdown. Like 5, I think he hit like 5 different receivers, or at least targeted 5 different receivers. So he had 5 completions to 6 different receivers, or the other way around. He had 6 targets to 5 different receivers. So he made it work and threw a touchdown, and it was a really well designed drive, really well executed drive, and it was like that's what you need to see more often. But sadly, we don't. But that was something like you. Hey, without Tyreek, we can still move the football. And one more piece, Cedric Wilson looked good returning the football.
Cedric Wilson has been doing really well lately too. You got to give him credit for how his season has gone along after last season.
He's still overpaid, but for his performance, but he's starting to be involved a lot more.
Yeah, and he's making plays. I mean, he's making some tough catches. And I'm going to just segue over here to Evan here, talking about our defense. And I posed this question on X. FinStanza, can you see? Obviously, look, the offense today, win's a win, no doubt. Look, the offense are 7-3, it's still number one offense, etc. However, I mean, H getting hurt, that sucks. I mean, I didn't see anything on him yet. Hopefully, it's just that he kind of tweaked it, and maybe he gets.
They did it as a precaution. Like McDaniel even said, they left him off as a precaution. But it really did. I really did change the. I really do think it changed the offense.
I agree. I do. I'm with you. But I want to say this
shot came back out, so that was
he did for sure.
But I'll give an update on the offense and what I thought about the offense.
But again, 20 points total. That's 2 field goals.
Go
20 points.
You're about to tell me about the offense.
No, I know. Let me finish my part, and then I'll get to you. Yes, I'm segueing to you. My goodness, he's so used. He doesn't like being the co-host. He has to be like the lead. Like no, dude. El Jefe is here. Back up. That's a great picture. Photoshop. But what I was going to say was, look, scoring only 20 points. The Jets, I mean, the Raiders defense is 18th in the NFL. I talked about it. I thought the rushing game was going to be stronger than that, but I talked about this defense should have itself a game. It did. 13 points against the Raiders. Great. The 31st ranked offense, but still held them to 13 points. But our offense only scored 20 points. This team scored on the 20 points. But let me ask you about. So my question will follow up with the offense, Evan, is our defense going to be now the part of this team that's going to carry the team as it makes its run to the playoffs? And are you worried about the offense at all? Or you say, hey, no, yeah, the defense is getting better, but the offense is going to be just fine?
I made a comment, I believe, before I cut you guys off, and I had to run today. So once again, I apologize for that.
Ending our show
everyone who was watching the show, I screwed up. My kid forgot his shoulder pads at home. I was 25 minutes away from home, had to go buy him new shoulder pads for his hockey game, and I inadvertently cut off the show. So I apologize. Didn't mean it was a pocket thing. I made a prediction, though, that I believe that the defense is going to be top 5, and so will the offense. The difference is that the defense it's going to be very visible that the defense is a top 5 defense, but it's going to be very under the radar that the Dolphins are going to finish with a top 5 offense, because today they had over 400 yards of offense, but it was a poor man's 420. It didn't represent. Remember that game in week 3 with the when we beat the Bills at home and they had almost 500 yards of offense. They only put up 17 points against us. That's what it felt like. It felt like no matter what we did, we weren't converting our offense into big points, and we were stuck with either trying to get field goals. Like I don't remember the last time we had that many field goals. But the defense is doing things that the offense was doing at the beginning of the year, but they're earning it. I feel like the offense would never be as prolific as it was without Tyreek Hill there. And I'm really trying to see that. Like the Tyreek Hill is really the glue of that offense. The defense has a lot more weapons, I would say, than the offense. The offense, I think, runs through Tyreek, and then you have Waddle and that, but I feel like they're not as, I actually think that there's more stars on the defense now than there are on the offense. That's what I'm seeing right now. So my concern about the offense does relate. Me and Brett have a different perspective on it, but I understand his perspective. But the offense, I do have serious concerns about, because every game they're making a mistake that when they play a mid-level or a good team, it's going to be a backbreaker. And it's the same way I describe the special teams. So when you ask me those questions, I will answer them. But yes, I'm very concerned about the offense. I'm not concerned about the defense, because I said I wanted to see Jalen Ramsey in that Patriots game to show people that even he can literally change the mindset of a defense. That was the prized possession that Vic Fangio needed for his team, everyone else to feel more comfortable and confident. And that's what's happened, because since he's come onto the team, probably after today, they'll probably be the top 10 on defense. They literally are going from 25th to a top 10 defense in under 3-4 games with Jalen Ramsey in the lineup. That's incredible. To jump that much because of one player and seeing how it's working for him. Maybe there's other factors. Maybe there's more confidence. Brett will get into that, I'm sure. But for me, the defense has a swagger to it. I knew today's game weren't going to lose it because our defense and Vic Fangio was coming up with things that just were going to work against a rookie quarterback.
Let me just respond very quick to your point here. When you were talking about, and I agree with your point. It's just you said defense has. It seems like they have more talent than the offense, or they have more talent. I think it's not
individual talent.
Individual talent. Well, see, here's the crazy thing. The defense is playing like a unit. They're playing like a team right now. They got this. They got some stars on there. They got some very good players, but they're playing as a combined unit. They all playing with the same mindset. They're all on the same page. Where the offense seems like it's more individual performance. Like they seem like they're more about it's focused on this one guy or it's focused on this one guy. It doesn't seem like a tandem. It doesn't seem like they're playing like as a unit. It's more individual where the defense is. And I mean, you want hopefully as the season goes along. I mean, you got the Jets going on next Friday. That's going to be a tough game. That's not a cakewalk coming up. I said that last week, and I'll say it again. I mean, the Jets lost to Buffalo.
It should be.
Whatever, but it's not. It should be, but it's not going to be. Okay, and you saw today why. So you hope that Miami, defense. I'm not worried about. Not worried at all about defense. Our offense needs to play like the number one offense. It looked really good at the first part. They need to follow that up in this stretch now. It's November. It's going to get into December. And these are the games where Miami struggles. They have to pick this up because it could catch them. No doubt.
All right, you want to talk about the defense or the offense?
You can go ahead. No, go ahead.
Brad, were you about to comment about the offense or the defense before I frame a question to you?
Okay, go ahead.
No, I want to know what Brett was about to mention. You were going to still talk about the defense, or you want to talk about the offense?
We talk about whatever. We talk about offense.
No. What were you about to answer about? Because I want to know if it's going in the same direction.
No, I was just basically agreeing with Bobby that today is why this schedule is not going to be as easy. But with all the 5 out of 8 home games, we should be 6-2 down this stretch. Obviously, doesn't feel like a good win, but it's still a win. So they're still on pace to go 6-2, right? Like it should be realistic. Really hoping that Friday's not a rough game, and I don't want anybody to take that like, oh, the Jets are just better. We suck. But Black Friday, it's a short week, right? You're on the road.
So true, right there, Scotty.
Very tough. The Bengals, even before Joe Burrow was hurt, they were struggling against the Ravens on Thursday night. So it's short weeks are rough on the road. Yeah. I'm not making excuses for losses because that's not what I do, but it's already a tough game, tough environment. So that game, I'm just hoping they bring their A game because an effort like this, it's a loss.
Yeah. So. Bobby, before we talk about the offense, because I think that's where we need to focus our time, and also special teams, I want to just frame one thing on the defense that was concerning to me, and I just want to maybe get Brett's perspective on this because Brett's my teacher. The one area that it was frustrating to me, and maybe they were picking on it, and I'm surprised that Fangio didn't curb it throughout the game, is it seemed that I think Howard very often on his side was hoping that Elliott would give him more help across the top, and that's where Adams burned us every time. I feel he was the weak link on the defense today. Why do you think that Elliott struggled so much today? Like, he was very apparent that he was really struggling with Adams today. Like, I think they were just picking on that. When Adams got his catches, it was Elliott who just got burnt, or he just fell over on himself. He just didn't look like he looked the weak link on the defense today. Like he looked like
I don't know that he was.
Okay, I just want your perspective.
So,
he didn't look great.
Fangio rotates his safeties, and he'll drop one down and run a single high. Sometimes run
yes, I can. Wait till you hear about the new show we're having. Wait till you hear about the new weekly show we've come up with, Steve.
No, he rotates his safeties. There's I think this guy, his name is Rollins. He broke it down on YouTube. He does a great job of breaking film down. I have to find him, but what he did, he broke it down before how the defense works. And that defense, it rotates safeties back and forth, right? So a lot of your safeties are going to be similar skill sets, which Elliott and Holland are very similar skill sets, right? Both good tacklers, pretty decent in coverage. Not great coverage guys, but are good in the zone, right? So on that touchdown to Adams, my initial thought was that Elliott got stuck in play action, right? He fed up in play action. And then I watch it again, and it looked like Holland starts to give a chase over top and then stops, almost as if he was expecting someone else to be there. It was definitely a blown assignment somewhere, but I don't know if Holland didn't get over top, was supposed to be over top, and Elliott underneath, or if Elliott got sucked up with the play action and wasn't there and Holland was expecting him. So it was definitely a blown assignment by somebody, and I believe it was one of the safeties. I really don't think it was Elliott. I really think it was Elliott playing near the box where Holland was supposed to be over top, and it might have just one of the things where Holland just kind of lost where he was for a minute and just got beat. But in the second half, at one point, Adams had 0 catches, 0 yards. So like they curved it in the second half. They kind of fixed that issue, but excuse me. So you really didn't see that again in the second half, but that seemed like a gaffe on their part. Like it's not something that you expect to happen a lot, but it's definitely a blown assignment somewhere. And it looked like, to me, they fixed it. And Howard, the only time he got beat was to the sideline. But now to untrained eye, that looks like, oh, he's getting beat. No. So the only way, basically, with the way they're playing this defense is you're going to give up the small stuff. So Howard's playing his back to the sideline for a reason, because if you're going to beat him, you're going to beat him to the sideline. The sideline's his extra defender. So he has a chance to get turned around, but that keeps anybody from crossing his face and beating him out there too for the big play over the middle. So now you're getting like you can dink and dunk, but eventually you're going to have to do more to hit home runs to win. So, and then the pass rush is going to get you. So that's the kind of to me, X had a really good game, and the physicality of the defense, to your point, Evan, has elevated since Ramsey has got on the field. He just brings an energy, and the way he plays, it makes you want to play at that level.
Let me just say this. First off, I have 2 points with Aladino and Scotty, and I'm gonna run with you, Brett, on that, and then let it roll to Evan. But before that, I saw a thumbs up on the screen. Did anybody else see that? Was that just me?
It was very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What? It was right next to Brett's face. I saw a thumb floating.
It could be something new on YouTube. We'll have to test it out, but it has to
That
be
is
from YouTube.
I saw I was like, I thought somebody's hand, and then I'm like, no, that's a thumbs up thing.
Look at me, a thumbs up.
Yeah, there was a thumbs up float. There was a bubble floating by your head.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe there's a new function in
new feature or something. I don't know. Somebody tested it
out
out.
on YouTube with the number of subscribers you have. It could be a new function.
Maybe that was kind of fun. I saw it. It was like I thought he had something like a little sign.
Bobby, I saw you pointing to that comment here.
Yeah. So 2 things here. First off, McD, first off with Scotty. I want to touch on Scotty. I'm going to roll for Aladino's
offense. So if it's offense, let's talk about it.
Yeah. I just want to get Brett's what he just talked about, what he sent to us.
Sanders for last.
Take it easy. Scotty says offense has to stop shooting themselves in the foot.
Yes.
And I absolutely agree with them. The offense today, they too many times it's happening. Though, when and I don't want to touch on Sanders, but I'm going to bring it up. The interception was at the 40. Those 2 plays, one was almost another interception where, he was where Tua was eyeballing his receiver. As soon as he called hike, he was watching his guy, which, as everybody knows, you don't have to be a pro to know you can't do that because the smart defenders are watching. You see, look, oh, dude, he's going to throw it to him.
Wait.
Oh,
are you talking about the first drive or later in the game?
Was it later? It was later.
The one where you asked me, Brett, the one where you asked me, but you didn't know what was going on. It was right out of the second half.
Okay.
The Sanders missed the kick after that. He missed the field goal.
Yeah.
It was a 50-yarder, right? It was 51 yards was the missed field goal. That was that one. No, look, he did not look. He was only eyeballing. He never read the defense. He said hike. His head stayed here. There was 4 defenders. He threw it, and it almost got. Then the second one, the same thing. Eyeballing, fell off. Of course, then he missed Craycraft near the end zone, I think, and it was a wide open Craycraft, and he got it on I think Alec Ingold. But anyway, that was after the missed interception. The missed field goal right after.
I agree, Mike.
Right. Can we ask about this one?
Hold on, let me finish one.
Okay, I don't want to forget about this point after.
Okay, we'll come right back to Michael Vogel in the house.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
Good dude right here, man.
They weren't reacting to that.
Anyway, Aladino says McDaniel has to trust the run on 4th down.
Okay.
Absolutely right, but
he doesn't.
Brett, touch on the point you were talking about earlier.
So this is the play I broke down for Evan. I went back and watched the game again. So because I missed a lot of it, so I actually wanted to see what happened, how things happened, how it developed. A couple things that stood out to me right away. I'll get into those in a little bit, but this one, that play, a lot of people call it a screen. Originally, from what I saw, I thought it was going to be one of the pop pass to the tight end available or throw it to the screen, until it shows the screen. But then I watched it, and what I saw is an RPO. And the reason I think it's an RPO because you're not likely going to run Tyreek in motion and run him back out to throw a screen. So it looks like a screen, but it's actually just a simple wide receiver quick out, right? So all he was faking it to the running back. Now it's an RPO, the way he's holding it and the way he's reading it. However, when you watch that play, pause it. Peters is pointing to the far side corners. He's pointing the Hobbs. He's pointing to the corners. Divine Diablo hears that, and he starts cheating that way. His eyes go that way. Merrick, his eyes are that way, all towards Tyreek. That's 4 eyes that way. The ball is snapped into his hands. Tua is faking it to the back. Marcus Peters, such a savvy veteran, a very smart corner, is still got his hand up, pointing, shouting to the corner what's coming. He's not even paying attention to the run. Diablo's headed to the run. If Tua was really paying attention in sync, that's fine. I'm going to let you think that all day, and I'm going to go ahead and hand it to Mostert, and Mostert's going to run in for the touchdown because Diablo's leaving.
What's up, Tarvis? From the Bahamas, man. Fins up, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Awesome, dude. Appreciate you, man.
But that could have been a touchdown, definitely a first down. So your quarterback has to know when to hand the ball off in that situation. And it's an RPO. It looked like an RPO. So if that's the case, Tua has to know to hand that ball off. And it worked. If that's the RPO design, that works because everybody's focused on Tyreek. It thinks that's where they're going, even Peters. And he's not even worried about the run. He's not even stressed about the run. He knows the ball's going opposite the field of him. And they do, and they do exactly what the Raiders are expecting. So that was something that needs to be fixed. That's the kind of stuff that Tua needs to be better on mentally, and that's the stuff that like year 4, you should start seeing that stuff. Start watching with the because Tom Brady will see that like, all right, yeah, I'm throwing out there. Yeah, just kidding. I'm gonna go ahead and hand it off. And you thought I was gonna throw it out there because like I'm watching you make all these reactions, and I'm just gonna do the opposite of what you think I'm doing. But I'll let you think that all day, and I won't tip my hand. As soon as that ball snaps, I'm going to give it right to Mostert.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, Evan, your response, and then what we were just talking about with the those couple passes, man, and what you have to say about McDaniel.
So overall, I understand where Brett's coming from. 100% I agree. Right now, I always make that joke about George St. Pierre once saying, I'm not impressed by your performance. Tua is not playing like an elite quarterback. He's playing like a middle-of-the-road quarterback right now whose stats are padded because he's finding Tyreek, and Tyreek makes something out of nothing. That's what I've been seeing. I think they did actually use the running game more than I thought because Mostert has never had he's had the most carries today than he's ever had in his career. He had more than 22 carries today for 80-something odd yards.
86 yards, I think.
86 yards or something like that. But their average was not great. What frustrated me with McDaniel, and I understand McDaniel makes mistakes here and there, but for me, I would have taken the points on that 4th and 1. Considering how the game had a feel at the beginning, I would have taken those points. Just to take them. To be that aggressive right now. You just need to win right now. You don't need to win by 50. The one that bothered me the most is when it was 2nd and 1 and 3rd and 1. Now I understand. For me, one thing I will agree with Brett on: our offensive line, similar to Tua, has looked better than they actually are. Like we were still getting to those 2nd and 9s way too often, where we were not getting initial runs. Our run seems to only improve in the fourth quarter. Ironically, that's when our running game is strongest. That's when we get more of our chunk yards towards the end of a game. So I think it's a little overstated. But for me, it was the 2nd and 1 and the 3rd and 1. And I wouldn't even give the choice to Tua to make that call. Like, just run the goddamn ball. Or go find a guy, go find someone off the street. I don't care what the running back does. Get a fullback, go quarterback sneak it, put Mike White, do whatever you need to do. Like in the CFL right now, watching the Grey Cup out of the corner of my eye. Get someone who comes in just on those downs to get you that one down so you get another set of first downs. Because on 3rd down conversions today, they were crap. What they do? Were they 3 for 12? I think they were today. They were 3 for 11. That's ridiculous. The fact that the Raiders were better than you on 3rd down efficiency for supposed to be the greatest show on turf is embarrassing to me.
That's bad, especially with a backup quarterback.
Yeah,
Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah. He's not even supposed to be playing this year.
But Miami's been struggling with that this season. 3rd down conversions, time of possession.
And I'm not knocking O'Connell. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off. I'm not knocking O'Connell, but I mean, you're expecting an inexperienced quarterback. Why is he outperforming our 4th-year quarterback? Or why is it that let offense.
Well, on that,
Tua's stats
in that category,
deceiving, right? Tua's stats are deceiving because yes, he had 103 passer rating. Well, O'Connell only had 56. He was 20 of 39 for 325. He had a decent stat game, but stats are not everything. Like you always say, Brett, Kirk Cousins stats. But for me, the frustration of the offense is that the reason I get frustrated with McDaniel is more that he's putting at this point, I think he's putting too much faith in his quarterback's hands versus telling him this is the play call, run the play. And the one thing I have is like Steve Malloy said, one read quarterback, and that's what happened on that interception with Waddle. That's when he tried to throw. He threw it into triple coverage on Tyreek and almost got it intercepted 3 or 4 times today. That's where I'm getting frustrated with Tua. He is humbled at the end of the game and admits that they've got willed to victory by their defense. He knows he's messed up today. Julian Hill needs to hold on to that football, which I also want to get to, Brett, in a minute, and which I'm actually want to do. The offense for me and McDaniel, why I'm pissed off at McDaniel is actually he's owning, no matter Tua, and we have the personnel to do it, in the end, he's responsible for the offense. No matter who's on that field, no matter whether Greer is bringing the right players or not, he's responsible to develop the offensive side of the ball. The ball handling of this football team is poor, below average. It needs to be worked on. And the amount of turnovers that were caused by whether it's a Julian Hill or whether it's Tua, why Tua was on that first drive went front forward on his knee versus doing what any normal quarterback, which I think he should go watch the tape of Russell Wilson. Even though Russell Wilson's not a super, whenever he needs to go get a set of yards, he slides like he's a baseball player because he used to play baseball. Tua needs to slide like he's a baseball player. Stop going frontward where you potentially could get hit, where you could potentially get the ball knocked out. That's where I'm frustrated with McDaniel, is not necessarily the play calling necessarily. It's more he's putting Tua in position to make a mistake because he's giving him too many choices on the field. Tell him what to do, make it simple, keep it simple, stupid, and just run the offense. Because right now, I just want wins. Because like I said earlier, the Rams did not beat a great team, did not beat a team with the winning record when they won the Super Bowl. The team I'm watching right now, the Alouettes, who I want to win the Grey Cup tonight, did not beat a winning team, but they made it to the Grey Cup. You just have to get to the dance. We need a home playoff game. You need to win these football games, and your offense today won in spite of, because if it wasn't for your defense today, and if it wasn't for your special teams getting you 6 points, but which we'll talk about after, that's where I'm disappointed. Their fourth down conversions today they didn't even convert a fourth down. That's what I'm concerned about. Like, if that was Andy Reid's offense, you knew where Tyreek was. It was a quick little throw. And here, that's Patrick Mahomes' forte, obviously. But that's where Tua has to get to. And right now, Mike McDaniel is giving too much to Tua versus just making it really simple. And on the 2nd and 1 and 3rd and 1, giving that to Tua, I'd rather give it to Mostert. I'd rather give it to Ahmed on those plays. Don't make it where Tua's going to have to overthink it, make a mistake. That's where I'm frustrated. But maybe I want to go to Brett, because Brett was we talked about it earlier when we were texting. The ball handling, whether it was Mostert a couple games ago fumbling it like crazy, Julian Hill today, the amount of turnovers on offense. What do we do there? Because that's going to cost us a football game.
Oh, that one that's just coaching. I had said on the timeline, every specialty player, everybody that touches the ball, back up, practice squad, don't matter. Running back drills. Everybody needs to work on running back. Just do ball security drills and just work on it. Keep working. And every practice, every week, just at some point, it could be like once a week, a couple times a week. I don't know. Just do it a couple times and just like, especially right now, do it almost like every practice for a short period. Ball drills, ball security, ball security, ball security. And just emphasize it. Excuse me. When you run a play, ball security. Hey, Tua, where's the ball at? Tua, where's the ball at? Beard of the weird. All right.
That was good. Goodness, that was great.
Like, keep doing that. Like every play, every chance you get, if you're McDaniel, the offensive coordinator, position coaches, ball security. And that way you're just reminding players, tuck the ball. And it's just kind of like a mental thing. And then just keep working on the different drills you do.
Let me ask this, Brett. Look, defense, we're talking about it. Defense is starting to trend on up, okay? And that's great for this stretch that's coming up. Because, again, Jets are not going to be easy, but you got the Jets coming. You got Baltimore. You got the Cowboys. You got Buffalo again. It's going to be a tough shot. You want your defense to be ready to go because
Crosby had 1 sack, by the way.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. But the Dolphins did win this game. Defense played great. Okay. Again, against a rookie quarterback and whatever, but did great. And they have been performing great. Our offense this season, again, number 1 in almost every category, except for running back for the running game. Again, they struggle on third down conversions. We've touched on that. They've struggled on time of possession. We touched on that. But number 1 offense in football. How could we not trust them to figure it out where, and I guess I could go to Evan on this one, let him start, and Brett, you can respond. How can we not trust that, hey, you know what? We've seen our offense could do it this year. Mm-hmm. If they could they come back around and get back to where they were at the first half of the season, they still won this game, which is, you think about it, they haven't played a perfect game this year, which you can always say no team has, but they haven't played a complete game. They haven't done that yet. They're owed 1. Okay, so it's going to happen. Hopefully, it's in a game where we really need it. Yeah. But defense is playing great. Offense is not. The numbers look nice, but we saw what we were watching. How can you make yourself? How are you not comfortable with the offense going forward to match up with our defense? The offense is number 1 for a reason. It's the defense is starting to train up, but the offense is still number 1. Evan, I'll start with you.
The offense is great because they have speed. Speed kills, and you have the ability to score points when you have speed. And you're going to have dynamic players like Tyreek and Waddle who could get open in space, and Tua just has to give it to them. But the problem is that they're doing things now in spurts. It's not consistent. It's not the problem is that you don't know what to expect from them right now. The problem is that you're not seeing that. When they're getting to too many third downs, it's too simple plays. Like they're not getting first down, then another first down, or first down, 2nd and 5, first down. It's a struggle throughout to get that first down lately, and that's where I'm getting more concerned about. It's not a free-flowing, smooth offense. It's not like it was in the first few games of the year where it was smooth sailing a little bit. So now they're getting to the harder days where it now becomes a struggle for them, and I feel like they're overthinking it. They're not. They have to figure out what they were doing well, and obviously, like Brett will say, people have adjusted to what they were doing at the beginning, similar to what happened last year against the Chargers and what happened against the 49ers. But McDaniel has to sort of change it up a little bit, and maybe I think Achane played a role in that today. Maybe the game plan was more towards Achane, and when he got injured, that sort of took away what they were trying to do today. And maybe Tyreek going out a little bit, but not having Berrios there across the middle. But something was just off, and that's what I feel like. I don't have that sense anymore when they get on the field that they're going to score every time. I don't think that the defenses don't look afraid. Like Patrick Graham looked prepared for this game, and I feel like McDaniel is still thinking that what he's done at the beginning of the season will work. And I have a feeling if he does think that, then what's going to end up happening in December is going to hurt us again. He has to come up with something a little bit different. The defense is trending up because it's a scheme that's working. They have the players now who are able to perform in that scheme in every position. The Dolphins don't have that. So they asked what the grade of the offensive line is. The grade of the offensive line for me right now, over the last 2 or 3 games, is a C. And the reason I say it's a C is because I didn't love how Armstead played today. I feel like he get a lot of those runs where it was 2nd and 9. He was not getting that extra time and space to give the running back a chance to move. Jackson was okay, but he made 1 or 2 bad penalties. Williams was quiet today. Luckily, there were no bad snaps. But I didn't feel like there was enough holes for the offense for the running game at all today. I don't feel like they moved the line all that well. So overall, the blocking of the tight ends has been very disappointing for me lately. So for me, frustrated. I'm happy we won. A win is a win. A lot of teams lost today. A lot of teams struggled. We fell a little bit behind in the game, but I feel like we're just shooting ourselves in the foot too much, and that's what I'm angering with me with the offense. Is that I'd rather you just go take the points. The problem I have is that Mike McDaniel is showing right now he does not trust his kicker, because if you're going forward on 4th and 1, you in certain situations, and then like you said, you don't trust your kicker in those big situations. And when you finally tried to trust him, like Brett even texted me, he has a cold leg. The guy had 9 field goal attempts through 9 in his 10th football game. And he went for 50 yards. And for me, he finally made one, which is great because he got the confidence of the 40-something yarder first. But his first attempt was 50 yards. And he didn't even come close. He missed it the moment he kicked it. And I told you that's going to cost us a football game. If that was against the Jets on the road or something like that, against the Ravens, we're going to lose that football game because of that kick, and he's going to turn the field around.
Let me just say very quick. So first off, Dolphins Thirsty in the house. Rob, if you're thirsty for Dolphins content, that's your man right there. Check him out every day, mostly every day, daily at 10 o'clock Eastern time. Dolphins Thirsty, YouTube. Happy that he's joining. He was live at the game. Daniel says, Evan, if you want the offense to be more consistent, Hill has too much say on this offense. Throw Waddle the ball. I don't give a damn about 2,000 yards.
Well, he did. When Tyreek came off the field, he was going to Waddle.
Mm-hmm. Kicker, win or lose over 50 yards. Sanders is a loser. Okay, I'm going to let Evan go ahead and start with that. Evan, go ahead on Sanders.
I'm going to be okay. Let me just say something about Jason Sanders. I'm actually going to be somewhat complimentary, but also insulting on him. He is the most accurate kicker the Dolphins have ever had. Oh, fine. He is a kicker we're paying. My frustration with Jason Sanders is he gave us 6 points, Bobby. He makes his extra kicks. Fine. But when you have Daniel Carlson, or you have Evan McPherson, or you have Matt Gay, or you have the guy in Buffalo, you see what's happening in college now. You see guys kicking the ball 55, 60 yards. You see Tucker kicking a 65-yarder. When Jason Sanders goes out there, if it's 50 yards or more, it's a flip of a coin. He's hit under 25% of his kicks over 50 yards over the last 4 seasons. For a Super Bowl winning team, if you're going to be in the playoffs, going on the road to Arrowhead or somewhere like that, if you get there, and you have to get a kick because in the snow or in minus 15-degree weather, because you just need to put points on the board to give your team a chance, Jason Sanders is going to miss that kick if it's 50 yards or more. And my frustration with Jason Sanders is he's had no sense of competition. In any situation, for any player on any team, what makes it a player better? To know that he potentially could lose his job. And the fact that he's one play away from potential, he's the one area. Jake, right now, a weakness of our team, Jake Bailey, where is Thomas? This guy either kicks the ball a mile, like he had one today that got kicked to the 2-yard line, or he muffs it. It's a flip of a coin. Our kickers right now are an actual important part of a team because there's a reason why there's 3 sides to a game, and they're actually going to potentially, in a critical moment of our football season, potentially cost us a game. And that is my number one concern. And that also falls on coaching. Danny Crossman should never have made it to this season. And I don't know what Mike McDaniel, and I put that on Mike McDaniel because Mike McDaniel has the authority to fire his ass, and Mike McDaniel has not. So Mike McDaniel, to me, is a failure because, to me, you have the ability, maybe you say Greer, but he also has a say. So in a game, it's Mike McDaniel basically going to say that we're losing by 2. We need a 51-yarder with 3 seconds left. In the cold of Arrowhead or empty Bank Stadium in Baltimore, are any of us going to say if it was Justin Tucker, game over? Matt Gay, game over. Tyler Bass, game over. Jason Sanders, congratulations, you just won. That's my concern. Is that until he shows me he consistently make 50-yard kicks, which in the NFL is a standard. It's not a massive kick. It's a standard. He is the worst kicker in the NFL by a country mile on kicks over 50 yards over the last 4 years. He's made 3 or 4 out of like 20. It's not even close. And that's my concern because for this team, which I want to win a Super Bowl, my kicker has to be great. Because you know this better than anybody. I don't care what Tom Brady did. If Adam Vinatieri was not there, they're not winning some of these Super Bowls because he could easily miss a kick. If Jason Sanders was the kicker, they would have lost the Super Bowls. That's my concern, is I need Jason Sanders to show me consistency over 50 yards. And for 4 seasons, he is not. Jake Bailey is a disaster to me. And also, you know what also concerns me today? And you guys can't deny this? We had 2 massive 15-yard penalties on our defense blocking behind the back today. Twice. We had horrible field position, and that's on coaching.
No, that one of McDonald was
No, but there's two penalties. Whether it's overall special teams it gets an F in my book. It gets an F in my book right now.
The reason I say it with Campbell that one early on, that was to me that was just well played, and that's how you would coach it. You couldn't really coach any better. Yeah. So it's just one of those. The refs called it is what it is. But to me, I'm not coaching him to do anything different. Maybe hold up a little bit, but he didn't hit him hard. He didn't so it was kind of like one of those, really, you got to call one. That's a little nitpicky. So for me, coaching on that one, Crossman has not been a good special teams coordinator anywhere he's been at all. Now, as far as McDaniel has the right to fire him, I don't know that that's true, because when McDaniel was hired, Greer and Ross had the genius brains that they have to say, we're so close. We want to keep it as is. Can you just come here and just coach the offense? We already got everything else for you. And then it's like, it's all Boyer's fault. The defense stinks. Even though the defense didn't really stink, the defense kept him in a lot of games.
I wasn't bragging. I lost a bet. I lost a bet. I wasn't bragging about Sanders. I lost a bet.
Real quick on Sanders.
Well, you like Sanders a couple weeks ago. You've been talking good things on Sanders. But can I just say something very quick?
Because you sucked me back in, Bobby. You sucked me back in.
First of all,
9 points. He gave me 6 points.
Yeah, well, first of all, and no, I'm going to agree with you that we have to have a kicker we rely on to make those 50-yarders. But I do put that on the offense. This offense is the number one offense in football. There is no reason why we should be kicking 50-yard kicks. The Dolphins offense, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, there's no reason why this should be a 50-yard kick. I understand. We should have our kicker should kick the 50-yarder. I mean, should be able to kick a 50-yarder and hit it. Now, he did hit a 50-yarder. He missed one. He made one, and he made 2 out of 3 today. Okay,
he hit the 40. He got his confidence with the 40.
Of course, but he still hit the 50. So, and again, that's why it's so important to win these games, however way you win it, get home field advantage, because you're right. When it comes to playing in Arrowhead or at Buffalo or wherever, you don't want to do that. You want to be able to play in Florida in this weather because it gives you a better chance. But I will say, I'm gonna preface this by saying, Miami at the end of the season, they need to get another kicker here to push Sanders, or just basically replace him. Get a kicker who could kick far and down the middle. But until then, all this, Sanders he sucks. He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that, he's that. Let's put it back to where it is. There's no reason why after that interception on our own 40, that our offense could not move the ball because our players are, the offense stalled out because Tua's watching this guy and looking at this guy, and their defense stops it. Yeah. Our offense is number one offense in football. Tied for second in the NFL, first in passing offense. There's no reason why we should be kicking 50-yard field goals. There's too many of them this season with this offense.
Right, and that the problem is too. When Evan, you touched on that they don't trust the kicker. You're right. They don't trust him to kick many field goals anymore. And my biggest problem with that is, why is the front office sitting so complacent with things like that? Oh yeah, we got our kicker. They don't ever push him. They don't ever get competition in there for him. It's just, he's our kicker.
Can I say very quick, and Brett, you continue right on. I'm just saying this. I believe that the way the team is run on the front office part of it is that you just brought this up. You did. About, hey, listen, we need you to coach our offense. Defense is fine. Special teams is fine. Then we coach the offense. The offense looks good enough for hey, it's the defense. Fire Boyer. Now we're saying special teams. I truly believe that the way that the front office is ran, or Rick Greer runs the team, is he goes, okay, this year I'm focused on building the offense. This year he's focused on building the defense. Next year, at the offseason, Crossman's going to be fired. You get a new kicker. You get some special team aces. It's like, instead of doing it all in one spot, it seems like they're going bam, bam, bam. You know what I mean?
You can't do it that way because remember, Jeff Ireland did that. Oh, yeah, we went all offense. Then we went all defense. And then it's like, you're never catching up. You know what I mean?
It's similar to how they run the front office. I'll fire the coach, keep the GM. I'll fire the GM. I'll hire the coach.
Right, yeah.
It's what it's doing. It's just, that's just my opinion. That's what I think they're doing. It makes too much sense.
But that's what our team does. Today, the defense is going to show up. The offense is going to go to sleep. Hey, the offense is going to show up. The defense is going to go to sleep.
Right.
It's like, why can't the Dolphins just show up? It's like when they wake up every morning, they're getting dressed in the dark. They put on a navy blue sweater with black pants. There's nothing matches. It just nothing is ever.
Well, ever since the defense has stepped up, so the offense has taken a step back, and it's almost like the defense like, all right, we got to help the offense out. The offense is going to put up points. We know that. We need to stop making it a shootout like we did week 1. We got to make this game, and they did. Every single tough game, except for Buffalo. Buffalo is just all around just team loss, right? I think we can all admit every aspect just sucked. So, but against Philly, defense played well. Offense wasn't good enough. Against Kansas City, defense was the reason we were even in the game. Offense didn't play well, and the defense gave the Dolphins the offense the ball twice to come back, and they couldn't even tie it. And same this week, again, defense gives the Dolphins gives the offense the ball back, and they couldn't score. They scored how many points in the second half? 6. The Dolphins. 6 points.
Dolphins scored 6, and the Raiders, which is amazing. The defense has given up 3 points in 4 quarters. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Who scored those 6 points?
Jason Sanders.
Yeah. Oh! No.
But that's we're talking about
Bobby, you know what my point is, right?
I get you. I understand you.
You want a Super Bowl?
We can't even score 6 points.
You know damn well I want a Super Bowl.
You want a Super Bowl? Kickers are going to get you there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Justin Tucker has won the Ravens enough football games that he's a Hall of Famer.
Or you could just do what Seattle did and just blow them out. And win a Super Bowl that way. I mean, we won't have that kind of a defense.
By the way, you know what I would like? You know what I would like? Can we steal Hunter Renfrow or Michael Mayer or something like that? What's going on?
Well, hey, no, Daniel just brought that up. Daniel had a great question, and I'll throw it to you guys. Yes, I believe. Do we need a tight end? I've been calling for a tight end since the offseason. I want a Darnell. We got a Cam Smith. Where is he? What the hell?
I wanted a tight end. I wanted a tight end. So everybody said, we don't throw the tight ends. We don't. No. Tua doesn't throw the tight ends. All right. He throws the receivers.
Here you go. Back to Tua. Oh, God. No,
this offense will throw the tight ends. They just went to this March style offense.
Miss Fins in the house. All right,
Miss Fins. A tight end that has the ability to be a receiver, they'll use him. If you put George Kittle on the Dolphins, they'll use him. He will be a part of the passing offense. So, but they need a tight end that can do it all. I've said it before. Durham Smythe is average at everything, and it's not a knock on the guy. He's just an average. There's guys who just aren't elite, and it's not a knock on them. They're still better than 90% of the country at football. You know what I mean? 90% of the world of football.
We need a tight end who can block, and Darnell Washington was that guy. And first off, Miss Fins in the house. Everybody show some love to Miss Fins.
Yes, Miss Fins.
Check her out every morning, Miss Fins. She's always on. Every time I turn something on, she's there, just like the network. I love it. She's one of the best out there, one of the best people.
That's the thing, Miss Fins. We would use one if we had one capable to be a receiver that could actually run routes and could get separation. We don't have one. Julian Hill actually has some little bit of ability. I don't have high expectation for him to be elite, but I like how he can be developed.
Hold on to the football, Mr. Hill.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's
it's funny that the Hills on this team don't hold on to the football that well.
two games in a row.
It's an uphill battle for those Hills.
Come on, man.
We're gonna play that Hill.
Hey, let me ask you this, because I saw Evan said this earlier, and Miss Finch just reiterated, and Vinatieri wins Super Bowls. Can we? And again, I already said where I stand. I agree. End of the season, you got to make a change. But again, scored 6 points, 2 of 3, did hit a 50-yarder. But here's my point, or here's my question for you guys: how close were those kicks?
That's what I was getting ready to say. How close were they?
Like, if they were 50-yarders, okay, you got me. But if these were 20-yarders, okay,
It had to be 40. He was hitting 40-plus yarders in these games. They were not easy kicks. I have to go back and look.
But you know what I mean? Is that a fair question?
The one he kicked in the snow, against the Raiders on the tuck ball, that was not a gimme.
That is a good question. I want to break that down and find out for sure.
Let me know. We can do it.
I definitely want to.
My frustration. No, like I said, overall for me, my frustration right now, and Bobby, I'll always what I always like to get to, and I actually describe it when I'm playing sports. The Dolphins make the hard things look easy.
Yes.
And they make the easy things look impossible. They're taking simple things like a 1-yard play, and I want both of your opinion. Why is this team so bad in the red zone or in short yardage situations? Why are they so bad at it?
Well, first off,
that's their biggest.
I don't know. I want Brett
to go. Why are they so bad in short yardage situations? It's absolutely asinine that they can't figure out how to get a yard, 1 yard.
And it's a good question because it's a frustrating one. We've said it before. Like it's like you watch all these teams that can just push the pile, and our offense doesn't do that. A lot of it,
Scotty.
Offensive line. I was going to say one was 48, one was 41.
Oh, look, there you go. All right, 2, 3, 4, 3 coming in the clutch.
So is the biggest thing. Offensive line, tight end, all blocking, period, just needs to be improved at a much higher level. I know a lot of people are all talking about Austin Jackson, how good he's been, this and that. He's been serviceable. Now, when it comes to, like, the rest of the offensive line, they haven't been as good run blocking as you'd like them to be. They don't seal off. They don't get pushed. And then, you're not getting up to the line. Like, you're not really showing a threat to throw. Like, this 4th and 1 play I broke down for you. Like, they're not even worried about the run. They know what's going to happen. So it's like and then in the red zone, the Dolphins every week should be getting worse in the red zone.
Yeah, look at that. 3rd and 18. First down. I love it, Vogel. Man, we got to get Vogel back on here, man.
He got mad at me. He told me Fridays are good for him, but.
Oh, really? So, let me ask this because we're about to wrap it up, but I want to ask this because Hank was asking me last time. What's going on, man? What's up with bandwagon? Is it Thursday nights now? Is it Friday nights? I mean, you're kind of juggling over here. Like, what's the deal, bro?
It's Thursday night. The problem I had this particular week was that a friend of mine who's great to me allowed me to come on, and I promised.
Oh, that's right, Manny.
Manny had a show at the same time. Danny wanted me to come on the show, so I asked. But I'm good. The Friday night show, if it works for when he doesn't work, I'm going to coordinate my show that I want to do with Brett.
Well, hey, listen, look, we're about to wrap it up. And again, guys, you guys are watching the Miami Dolphins post-game show on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Everyone who's tuning in and chiming in, we got love for you. I appreciate each and every one of you who are watching right now. And don't forget, if you're brand new to the channel, we'd appreciate hit that subscribe button. We got a lot of great content on the network. We got, of course, Dolphins. You got Heat. We got basketball. We got wrestling. We got a new wrestling show. We got a new one coming in No Holds Barred. It's going to be back. We got baseball. We got hockey with FinStanza here. We got a lot of things coming up. Hit that subscribe button, and if you love to talk Dolphins, hey, hit me up. We'll have you on the show. It's gonna be a great week. It's Thanksgiving week. The food is gonna be amazing. But it's gonna be a weird week for Dolphin fans and the Dolphins because they play on Friday at 3:00, right, Eastern. It's 2:00 my time.
Perfect time for Brett. Brett's coming.
Well, I'm gonna say, look, post game, we should be all right. But post game, we'll have to figure that out, and maybe hopefully Vogel could join in.
Pregame? How do you want to do pregame?
I don't know. Well, we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. We'll do it.
Yeah, I'll try to jump on post game. Was it 3:00? So I'll be home. I'll definitely do post game. I can't do pregame. I definitely do post game.
You're working. Yeah. You're working on Thanksgiving, day after Thanksgiving.
No, yeah.
On Friday.
Oh yeah, money.
Yeah. But hey, look, guys, I want to thank everyone for tuning in.
And you might want to touch us up real quick.
Vogel. Okay, perfect, Vogel. We'll love to have you on, brother. We got pregame and postgame. You let me know what works for you. We'll figure out pregame time and then postgame. Chris, I always appreciate you. Guys, again, we got great content throughout the week. We won't have East 10th Street Boys tomorrow. Ooh, that's an East 10th Street Boy question, but dude, I mean, okay, obviously turkey's a given. So that's
my mother-in-law's mac and cheese.
I love stuffing and cranberry. I love stuffing and cranberry.
And the turkey has to be fried.
Evan can't answer. He's Canadian. We don't.
We had Canadian Thanksgiving a month ago.
You can still partake, Evan. Come on, Evan. Come on down. We'll fatten you up.
Well, honestly, I'm really leaning. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I might figure it out because it might actually get flexed. So I'm trying to decide this. I'm potentially going to New York City the first week of after New Year's. I might, because it's actually 3 hours away. I want to go to the Baltimore game potentially because it might get flexed. It actually might get flexed.
I heard. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's going to. I mean,
Brett,
right?
will you come?
I don't. The whole family. I would love to, but I don't know.
Why not? It's how far? It's not far for you.
No, it's like an hour. An hour for me at all, if that.
I'm worried because it might get flexed because the other game is I think the Packers and the. Let's just make one important point before you end the show.
Yeah.
This was also a decent day for the Dolphins, teams that, for example, so like I said, for example, like the Jets lost the game, so you're not worried about that. Overall, the week, yes, teams had to win, but the Chargers lost.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No, last week, look how it went last week. A lot of games that should have been won by these playoff teams, they dropped it. Miami, they didn't play a perfect game, but they won. They're 7-3. They're first in the East. They're fourth in the AFC. Okay, so it's still they just have to figure it out to be stronger throughout the season.
Same as you.
So I want to. This one I want to touch on real quick. So just finish on a positive note. Once again, the Dolphins could have fallen apart and spiraled out of control. Instead, they got on top of it, finished the game. They got out of there. Ugly win. Doesn't really feel like a great win. But just like the Giants game and the Carolina game, they got out of there with the win. Wasn't pretty. It didn't start out pretty. Wasn't always pretty. They made a lot of mistakes. They shot themselves in the foot, but they finished the game. I'm just hoping they don't continue. It seems like they're in a rut, so I just hope they don't stay that way. But as a team, they're pulling themselves out of it.
Absolutely.
A win is a win. Like I said,
I'll take it.
I just want them. I like it. If they beat all the bad teams that they have to face, they're going to win the division. They're going to get a home playoff game. Mm-hmm. So no matter what, do that. Just do that. Like make your business. Like there's zero reason. Like just Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. It took them until under 4 minutes in the second quarter left to get their first yard. Okay, the Dolphins, they had 130 something yards of offense today.
Now, if that's a defensive battle,
the Dolphins should be able to do that in 2 drives. Mm-hmm. It does. So for me, I don't care how good the Dolphins have no excuse because the defense can be phenomenal, but the offense cannot be that inept that they cannot put. Because if they put 20 points up on the Jets, they're going to win the football game. So this offense has to do it. They have to do it. And the weather in New York on Thanksgiving, they have the Thanksgiving Day parade out there. It's going to be probably in the 50s. Probably. It's not going to be cold. It's not going to be at night. It's going to be in the 50s or 60s. They have no excuses. They need to win these football games. There's no excuse. And I'm telling you this right now, the person who's most responsible for this, no matter what the coaching staff is, no matter what the defense is, right now, the leader of a football team is Uno. And if I'll tell you this right now, no matter what happens on any side of the ball, if they lose the football game moving on this season, it falls on the quarterback. He needs to get this team back up to getting 27 to 30 points a game. Enough with this 14 and 20 points a game where your defense is giving you the football with great field position. I don't remember the last time they went completely down the field on a great drive from the 25 without anything. He is disappointing this team right now, and he needs to be better.
All right.
He needs to be much better.
Guys, we're going to leave it at that. You'll catch us again. Tune in throughout the week. Follow up us on X and Twitter to find out. We got the pregame show on Friday before the game, obviously, and then postgame maybe earlier in the afternoon. We don't know yet. We'll work on that. But till then, guys, subscribe. Your Dolphins are 7-3.
And Brett's always right.
Fins up.